You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Exploring the impact of the Joplin tornado, I'm Ashley Katz.
I'm David Oliver. Good to have you joining us here at 10. Today, Drury University showed a documentary that looks at journalists and the EF5 tornado that ripped through Joplin. Color 10's Melanie Chapman is here tonight with the story.
David and Ashley, as you recall, the storm killed more than 160 people and destroyed 8,500 homes, schools, businesses, and even a hospital. Drury takes a look back at what to learn from this. The images and sounds from May 22nd, 2011 are disturbing and they are real. The horror of that deadly day is captured in a documentary called Deadline in Disaster. Drury University hosted a screening of the film today.
What's different about this film is while it's about a tornado, what it really is about the importance of a newspaper and the role a newspaper plays in a community.
The documentary tells the story about the Joplin Globe staff. Some lost their homes, even a colleague. Still, they made sure they did their jobs. They had stories to tell, information to give. In the midst of this disaster, the paper was out the next day.
And we feel like that we helped set the tone. We informed our readers. We also gave them hope that things were going to get better, that help was on the way, and that we were going to survive this.
And survivors of the traumatic event in Joplin are the focus of a research project presented today by a professor of behavioral science. 87 lower-income people were studied on how they coped and if they were able to bounce back.
The most interesting thing we found overall is that the community of Joplin actually as a whole is really resilient. Of course, with any disaster, we have individuals that struggle and are not rebounding as well, but as a whole, the community just really bounced back very well, and it's a testament to the community of Joplin.
The research from Joplin will be used to help the community, but also help future survivors of disasters. The documentary will help journalists examine their roles in times of disaster.
What we learn from our survivors now will teach us for many years to come, and it'll actually help and protect the survivors of the next storm.
The documentary will be shown on PBS stations statewide on the second anniversary of the Joplin tornado.
Hard to watch some of that footage for all of us. Melanie, thanks. Jamie Warner tracking much calmer and nicer weather tonight in the Ozarks.
Yeah, we really haven't gotten into that time of the year that we expect as we get into April, and that is the severe weather season. It's still kind of got that feel of wintertime. We've certainly seen it since the beginning of this month. High temperatures have averaged out about 10 to 15 degrees colder than they should be for this time of the year. In fact, Tuesday, remember back to that, cloudy, showers and highs only in the low 40s here in Springfield. Managed to hit 54 yesterday, and the trend is in the right direction. We got to 58 this afternoon in Springfield, and Joplin got to 60. Elsewhere, you can see making it into the mid to upper 50s for the most part, although a bit cooler down to the south where clouds were thicker and even a little bit of light rain, especially earlier on this morning. The clouds moving out. They're moving out from north to south. We've still got to clear some cloud cover out of North Arkansas. After that, it looks like clear skies for the remainder of the night. 45 currently. We're going to drop into the 30s under clear skies and start the day off in the 30s with some patchy frost out there. But temperatures will warm quickly under that sunshine, and it looks like afternoon highs in the upper 60s and even warmer weather expected heading into the weekend.
Thanks, Jamie. New at 10, government leaders pledged to give up part of their salaries as federal employees are forced to take unpaid time off. The president earns $400 grand a year. President Obama is announcing this week he will give 5% of his paycheck back. And Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says he'll cut a check to the Treasury for up to 14 days of pay. And that is the same amount of furlough days hundreds of thousands of defense workers face.
And our Kevin Schwaller is here tonight to show what a Missouri senator is doing tonight to try to help.
That's right. Senator Claire McCaskill says she'll also be giving up part of her salary, and she wants more lawmakers to join her.
I think it's important that those of us who can't get an agreement about a more thoughtful way to impose cuts, that we should feel some of that pain too. And so Senator Nelson and I have sponsored a bill that would require us to, quote unquote, be furloughed in terms of the amount of pay we receive, in line with what may happen with federal employees. I should say that if we can't get that bill voted on or passed, I'm going to voluntarily give up part of my pay as in proportion to any federal workers who are furloughed.
And that was the senator in a recent conference call. Her bill says members of Congress would have to take a pay cut equal to the percentage the hardest hit federal employee had to be cut due to furloughs under sequestration. Now, we wanted to look at how all of this giving will be, well, giving back. Here's a look at the money. We'll look at the Defense Department as an example. 800,000 civilian employees there face furloughs, 14 days of them mostly. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the average full-time employee made more than $77 grand in 2011. So what do those 2 weeks of furloughs, 14 days, look like? More than $4,000 lost. So let's say you cut the pay of one senator by the same percentage. In general, members of Congress make $174,000 a year. There are exceptions. So that's a roughly $9,300 cut. Basically, the amount from one senator would make up for just more than the furloughs of more than two people. Now multiply that by all the members of Congress and you're still looking at about a fraction of the 800,000 people facing furlough in the Defense Department. And remember, these pay cuts are all between now and September. So the politicians cutting pay may look good, it will help a bit, but even with everyone on board, it's not going to make up for all the federal furloughs. And those in Congress are already making much more than the median American family or the average federal employee.
A very interesting perspective. Thanks, Kevin.
Springfield Landmark is going to soon undergo a major makeover. The owners of the Woodruff building downtown plan to turn it into an upscale apartment complex. Now, in addition to some apartments there will be a coffee shop, restaurants, a pool, movie theater, and fitness center, too. Co-owner Tim Roth says the time is right, and other downtown business owners seem excited.
When you can bring 96 units, probably 150 tenants to downtown, that's going to help a lot of businesses.
We're definitely excited. I mean, even with the lofts that we have downtown, we see business from them every day, and the more people, the merrier.
The expected cost is between $13 and $15 million. Construction should start this fall. We're told it's going to take about a year to complete. Now, here's some more history for you on the Woodruff building downtown. First opened to the public back in February of 1911. Springfield Library records show it was owned and named for Springfield attorney investor John T. Woodruff. Then in 1929, Woodruff sold the building to FX Herr, made famous by the Herr's building. In 1994, Bolivar businessman Warren Davis purchased it.
One of the newest buildings in Springfield is the Fieldhouse Sports Center. Two friends, now business partners, wanted to build a place for people of all ages to play in basketball and volleyball leagues. They broke ground last July near Kansas Expressway and Republic Road. The Fieldhouse is taking applications for leagues now. The doors open May 13th. The directors hope to attract families, and Dan Parmel is interested in having his daughter play there.
We've been talking about it. We've driven by a couple of times, and we're looking forward to it opening up so we can hopefully play year-round.
And there is another sports facility in Springfield called The Courts. The Fieldhouse owners feel there's enough interest to accommodate both businesses.
Now back to more local news for you at 10 tonight. 3 people went to the hospital when a car crashed into this apartment building. This happened this afternoon near Primrose and Glenstone here in Springfield. Police tell us a woman driving a Lexus there lost control and wound up inside the apartment. Officers say it appears that woman behind the wheel came from the nearby Target store. The conditions of the 3 people hurt are not known tonight. The family of a fatal crash victim has now filed a wrongful death lawsuit against a semi-driver. Mary Gresham of Macon is suing Lee's son and Daniel Orchard Transportation Incorporated. Online court records show the suit was filed yesterday in Greene County Circuit Court. Gresham's husband, Corey, died last week in a crash on Highway 60 there in Republic. Gresham's attorney tells Color 10 News the family hopes that the prosecuting attorney will pursue the appropriate charges against son and the company. Lawrence Cohn of Kimberling City also died in the crash. Son is charged tonight with involuntary manslaughter.
Reading and watching movie reviews will not be the same. Not that longtime critic Roger Ebert has died. He has been battling cancer since 2002. Ebert was a film critic for the Chicago Sun-Times for 46 years. He also had television reviews, first with the late Gene Siskel and later with Richard Roeper. His reviews were simple: thumbs up for a good film and thumbs down for a bad one. He is survived by a wife, a stepdaughter, and 2 step-grandchildren. Roger Ebert was 70 years old.
$200,000 will help a Springfield man battle cancer. That's how much was raised during last night's Sheryl Crow concert.
Let
The money is for Drew Lewis, a Springfield businessman diagnosed with colon cancer last year.
Got deductibles in 2 different places that, $22,000 I got to pay regardless. So it's amazing just how quickly things add up. But this will make a significant difference.
We all know what the insurance situation is in this country right now, and so I'm here doing what I can.
The Lewis family plans to actually fly to Nashville next week and stay with Sheryl Crow so Drew can receive more medical treatments.
In education coverage tonight, Springfield Public Schools has fixed a computer programming issue that halted summer school registration. According to a spokesperson, high school and middle school registration began today. Now, tomorrow morning at 8, parents can start signing up elementary students.
In tonight's political coverage at 10, Arkansas lawmakers want to make sure that voters know that they will have to show photo ID at the polls starting next January. Republicans are working with the Secretary of State now for an education effort on the new requirements. Senator Brian King says it's time to get the word out, even with possible legal challenges ahead.
Take one step at a time, and now that's passed, we're going to look at implementing and help make it possible and educate voters and do what we should to help them understand it.
Both the Arkansas House and Senate voted to override Governor Beebe's veto of that bill. Well, do not expect the same old Shrine Circus at its new location.
And performances will begin tomorrow. The new acts you will see this year.
Well, some good news here at 10 tonight. New and bigger acts are going to be performing at the Shrine Circus this weekend.
And that is because the circus has a new home, JQH Arena. Crews were setting up today. Performers had a dress rehearsal and were also putting some finishing touches on their routines. This new venue means the circus can put on a larger show, including motocross riders. Now, organizers promise the closing act will be the most impressive part of the circus.
David Smith holds the world record. We couldn't get a cannon in the Shrine Mosque. Years ago, I brought in a small cannon that his father built, but David will be bringing a cannon here he broke the world record with.
The show has a Broadway theme. The first performance is tomorrow night at 7:30. For ticket information, just head to ozarksfirst.com. Well, the other big event this weekend is Drury's basketball team playing in the Division II National Championship.
The game, we are proud to say, is at 3 o'clock on Sunday right here. You can watch it on Color 10. Now, before and after the game, we also have you covered Drury Panthers' Road to the Championship. It's a special broadcast. It airs at 6:30 tomorrow night, and again at 6:30, and also on Saturday at 4:30 and 9:30 p.m. on our news partner KOZL, Channel 27. We also have live coverage from Atlanta Sunday night and a special wrap-up show airing at 9:30 on KOZL and at 10:30 here on Color 10. Busy weekend. Not the only thing to be excited about, though, Jamie. We got warmer weather.
Yeah, springtime. We're going to see another round of it starting tomorrow and continuing through the weekend. In fact, I think with temperatures where they're going to be, a lot of folks are going to be hitting those garden stores to get the yards ready for the upcoming spring season. Highs in the 70s. I think a distinct possibility over the weekend. Look at that. And a stormier pattern, too, setting up coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, outside right now we've got clearing skies, lots of starshine here in Springfield, and with the clear skies and light winds, we've got cooling temperatures now 45 here in town. Here's a look at the big picture. We focus in on the southeast. We've got a little severe weather down across southeastern Florida. Looks like the worst of that is over with. Our upper level system, you can see it located back here across Arkansas and Mississippi. It's on the move. It's now sliding east of the region, and with it we are finding drier air working in from the north, and we've got a clearing trend, and it looks like we've got clear skies now all the way to the state line, and it looks like those clouds will clear out of northern Arkansas here pretty shortly. Let's take you through the rest of the night tonight. Again, the skies will clear out completely. Looks like tomorrow's going to start off bright and clear. Maybe some patchy frost out there with temperatures in the 30s, but that won't last very long. We're going to see a lot of sun, a beautiful finish to this work week. Sunny skies, light winds out of the south, and afternoon highs in the upper 60s. So if you've got the afternoon off or even just the late afternoon off and you're sitting out in that sun, it's going to feel awful nice, especially after the colder temperatures of this past week. Now, as far as skies are concerned, we will see a little high cloudiness start sneaking in by the very end of the day, I think, in areas like Joplin and Nevada. Overnight, Friday night, those high clouds will continue to thicken up across the area, and it looks like we will start Saturday off with probably a fairly thick deck of high cloudiness, at least filtered sun, if not completely cloudy. But as the day wears on, the high clouds move out. Now we'll probably have some leftover cumulus clouds in the area, but a partly cloudy afternoon, that's what I'm expecting. And with that sunshine in the afternoon, we'll warm temperatures, it looks like, into the low to maybe as warm as middle 70s. So it's going to feel real good on Saturday. Looks like the second half of the weekend not so nice, and here's the reason why. We've got a change in the pattern. Now the plus is that it's going to lead to warmer temperatures. The negative to it is that it's going to also lead to stormier conditions. It is the spring season, and that is the time of the year you expect that. And here's what will happen. We'll find basically a fairly potent storm make its way into the southwestern U.S., and with that storm it'll carve out a trough in the western U.S., and that'll sort of pump up a ridge across the eastern U.S. Well, winds will become more south to southeasterly from the Gulf of Mexico all the way into the plains, and that means we're going to be transporting that Gulf of Mexico moisture and warmth here into the Ozarks. Well, at the same time, you've got the moisture. You're going to have these weak upper level disturbances moving through and a frontal boundary nearby to the north, and that's going to lead to unsettled weather starting Sunday and lasting through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly into Thursday. When that chunk of upper level energy in the southwest kicks out, and it looks like that may be Tuesday night into Wednesday, there will also be the risk of maybe some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. So that'll be the thing that I'll watch through this weekend and into early next week, that severe weather risk. I think the storms on Sunday that we get, locally heavy rains, lightning, and maybe a little small hail, but that'll probably be the worst that we get out of that activity. 36 overnight tonight with clear skies now. You can see areas to the south will clear out to 37 in Harrison. Tomorrow we'll see a bright, sunny day, high 68, light winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I think areas like Joplin will probably hit 70 tomorrow. Don't get jealous, folks. We'll see it, I think, on Saturday with breezy southwest winds. Sunday, mostly cloudy. Scattered showers and thunderstorms with a tendency for that activity to sort of shift north into central Missouri as we head into late afternoon, and then unsettled Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and turning cooler again behind that storm.
What did you say last night? Soak up the sun like Sheryl Crow lyrics?
Exactly, and we are going to have a lot of it. I mean, tomorrow's going to be really a gorgeous finish to the week.
Hey, all I want to do is have some fun.
Oh, we could go on and on.
Thanks, Jamie.
We won't.
We won't.
In the clear, and he scores!
Well, some new name blues are helping the team tonight in Chicago.
But could the team go punch for punch with the first place Blackhawks? Nick has highlights coming up next.
the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Nick Carboni.
The Glendale Boys Hoops program picked up a new head coach today to replace Sean Williamson, who resigned in February after 9 seasons. Brian McTague will become the 5th head coach in the Falcons' 50-year history once he's approved at a school board meeting at the end of the spring. McTague just finishing his first year at Branson. He was named Coach of the Year in the Central Ozark Conference's large division. Prior to that, he spent 7 years at Clever, where he went to 2 Final Fours. McTague was also an assistant at Glendale for 7 seasons. The Drury Panthers will play for a national championship this Sunday. That game is going to be right here on Color 10 at 3 o'clock. The team has become known for star guards Alex Hall and Brandon Lockhart, but Justin Doherty tells us about the rest of the Panthers' rotation.
In 34 games, guards Alex Hall and Brandon Lockhart have led in scoring a combined 27 times. The other 7 belong to the other guys.
It's such a fluid thing, and then when you find what you're good at, you just do it within the offense. So it's like a machine. Everybody adds their little piece to the machine, and it just works.
We all know where we're best at, and Coach talked about that a lot. Be where you're best at.
Ford and Carter is best at rebounds and block shots, leading the team in both categories and recording 33 swats on the year.
I feel like my role is pretty much like the anchor of the defense, and I don't really worry about offense when I go into the game. It just comes to me because the defense worries about Brandon and Alex.
The bearded man is senior Teddy Simniak. On the court, he's the ever-present inside threat.
I try to get inside more. We need more inside scoring. We have plenty of shooters with Alex and Brandon.
Yeah, I think Teddy probably our best inside scorer as far as getting the ball in the post and turning around and scoring over defenders.
You won't see guard Lonnie Boga blow up the stat sheet, but it's the quiet bursts that make him vital.
Look at everything, rebound, set some picks, try to get Alex open, hit a couple open shots, get to the free throw line, get in the paint.
He creates a lot of shots for his teammates. As for the label of 6th man, that belongs to the electric sophomore, Cameron Adams.
And I enjoy being an energy player. I mean, that's all I've ever been able to do is play full speed, so I enjoy it, especially when it leads to late game dunks. I enjoy doing that.
Adams has not started a single game all year, but is 5th on the team in minutes per game.
And he is athletic. He broke a rim.
Every drama has its heroes, but when faced with their biggest test ever, even Marvel Comics needed the Avengers.
It's amazing.
It's a dream, but it's not over yet. One more game, 40 more minutes. We're definitely not satisfied just being here.
We'll see what they can do on Sunday right here on Color 10. Meanwhile, Springfield Cards starting the season tonight at Corpus Christi. Beautiful opening day evening in the Texas League. Bottom of the 3rd, George Springer, Connecticut's own, goes deep. He's a big prospect in the Astros organization. 2-run job, and it's 2-0 Hooks. Top of the 4th, Ruben Gotay, new Cardinal. Previously played with the Royals, spent some time in the Bigs. He drives home Jake Lemmerman, and that leads cut in half, 2-1. Later in the inning, Adam Melker on first. He goes. They toss down to second, where he's safe. Meanwhile, Gotay scores, but the Cards lose 3-2. Their first game at Hammonds Field is going to be next Thursday. Royals looking for their first win at Chicago. Jeremy Guthrie on the mound. He's going to get a pair of 400 home run guys in Adam Dunn and then Paul Konerko. He struck out 9 over 6 innings. Then in the 5th, Gerard Dyson starts the scoring up for the Royals, gives them their first lead of the series by bouncing a second. Eric Hosmer scores, and the Royals go on to win their first game of the year 3-1. Let's stay in Chicago. Brian Elliott in for the injured Euro Halak as the Blues take on the Blackhawks. How about Adam Cracknell? He's up from Peoria as well for the injured TJ Oshie. His first of the year, it's 1-0. Early second, though, Jonathan Toews gets his 18th of the year. It's 1-1. This one would go to a shootout, and the Blues would pick up a huge 4-3 win. They started the night on the cusp of the playoffs. Now they should be right about there and in.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
Be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
Our own Dan Lucy and Justin Doherty are heading out bright and early tomorrow morning.
That's right. Plenty of Panthers
for Atlanta.
Atlanta bound. We've got all the fun action all weekend here on Color 10. Thanks for watching tonight.
We'll see you tomorrow.